Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eddie. Today I want to share 4 tips on how to improve your English speaking speed and fluency. Do you ever feel like when you talk to somebody, you can't respond quickly and you make the conversation awkward? And every time you have a conversation, you feel exhausted because you have to keep up with what other people say. Or you think what you're gonna say in your head too much and it makes you feel like drained to talk to somebody. I totally get it because I've been through exactly the same experience as you. And to be honest, I was constantly anxious about my speaking speed. I didn't want to make a conversation awkward, and there's nothing more scary than silence in conversation, right? But after watching this video, you're gonna know how I overcome these issues, and you can apply these tips on your own English conversation from today. When I was 20 years old, I started studying English, and until second year of college, I had never been interested in English. I had never been abroad. I have never taken an entrance exam in my life. I got into high school and college on baseball scholarships. I didn't take an entrance exam. You know, I'm able to speak English like this now, but I came from nothing. I have many friends all over the world and I can travel many countries and meet them. I'm very happy for that. I can, experience this stuff. Okay, let's dive into today's topic. And to be honest, I still struggle sometimes with respond quickly in conversation, and sometimes that I don't even know what I want to say right away. And there was a moment that makes me think like when I feel like I need time to respond and when I can reply so quickly. I've been studying English for 5 years and I finally came to a realization that why I take some time to respond and sometime why I can respond quickly. So I'm gonna share it with you guys. Here's something really important. Even people who speak good English and fluently, even native English speakers, they're having a hard time to answer immediately in certain situations. Actually, it happens to everyone. But here's the question. And what's the differences between the time that we can respond quickly and when we can't? Once you understand this structure, you feel more relaxed to talk to people. Okay, let's start with a simple example. Imagine this. Okay, when you run into your friends on the street, you would ask them like, how are you? How are you doing? What are you doing here? And you'd be like, I'm good. I'm fine, thank you. Right? In this situation, I bet most of you guys don't think about what you guys are gonna say. You can just say, I'm fine, thank you, or I'm good right away, right? You just naturally respond to the question. So you don't even realize, but there's certain situation that you can immediately respond to people. But why? And in what kind of situation we can respond quickly? You can answer immediately. And there are 4 reasons for that. First, the amount of time you say the words. This is actually very simple, but this is a fact that the more often you say the words and phrases, the more you're likely to say these words quickly and naturally. I'm pretty sure that you've been saying how are you and I'm good for 1,000 times since you were young. When I was a junior high school student, I remember when my friends and I teased each other by saying like, how are you? And I'm good for like a lot of times in a day. Walking the street, that's just on my way back home. We had a lot of opportunity to say these words. From that, if you want to respond quickly, you gotta practice these phrases comfortably enough to say that beforehand. But you might think you can't believe that other people are practicing these phrases so many times. I feel you, because I was thinking the same thing as you. But yes, they're actually doing it. And in fact, I've been in specific situation for many times, and looking back, I practiced a lot. There is no magic about it. Just keep going until you hit the goal. More specifically, in my opinion, in my case, you need to experience the situation more than 10 times to say these phrases comfortably. Otherwise, words don't come out of your mouth. So you try to speak English as much as you can. And second, be familiar with the situation. Okay, let's think about the situation when you can respond quickly in Japanese. For example, if your mom asks you like, 今から買い物に行くけどなんかいる? And you're gonna be like, you can quick response that, 別に何もない、いらない, right? I think it's a really quick response. And in this situation, why do you think you can respond quickly? One of the reasons is because you are kind of expecting what your mom is gonna say to you. This also applies to English conversation. In the same situation in English, your mom asks you like, I'm going for groceries. Do you need anything? And you're gonna be like, No, I'm fine. I'm good. And again, you can say I'm fine, thank you quickly without thinking anything in your head. It's because you kind of know what they're gonna ask you when you meet people for the first time, right? When you greet someone, you're gonna start a conversation with like, hey, how are you? I'm good. You know, the conversation always start with this. So you are familiar with the situation, you're used to it. You can even prepare for what to say, right? I want to tell you that there are some words or phrases that you can use in a specific situation, and you have to get used to those. You will grow to respond quickly as you have the situation. And there are so many specific topics in general conversation, like relationship, food, trip, politics, religion, a lot of topics. So you have to get used to them. Like you need to get used to the words that you're gonna say in the specific situation and these topics. So again, there's no magic. You have to practice and you have to have as many as situation as you can, just little by little. Small step is fine. However, I'm gonna share very helpful and useful phrases when you feel like you're stuck in a conversation. That is back channel. If you know many back channels, it definitely helps you speak English. For example, yeah, definitely, absolutely, I'm down, I got it, gotcha, whoa, that's true, that's nice, like this. So you better learn back channels, and you can learn them on YouTube channel. It's just, you know, watch native English speakers talking each other. You can learn from them. And third, learning phrases. When you memorize new words, people who speak English naturally, they don't memorize the words itself. They memorize them with the situation and phrases. So for example, if you want to say 買い物に行くのをやめた in English, and then you don't know how to say やめた in English, and you look it up on the website, what does it mean? And then you know やめた means stop. And then you're like, okay, I got it. やめた means stop. This is exactly what most people are making mistake with. Fast learners don't remember the words itself. They make a sentence with a stop. So for example, if I memorize stop, I would say like, I stop playing piano, I stop cooking, I stop looking at the phone, I stop being on the app. Like this. You use the new word with the sentences and you create your own sentence with it. Because think about it, when you use the word, you never use the word itself. It always comes with a sentence. This is the point. You always remember the word with the phrase. When you write down the new words, you don't write down translation in Japanese itself. You can just create your own sentence in English. So you write down the sentence next to the word. That's what I'm doing. Never direct translation in Japanese. I've been studying English for 5 years and I'm at the level where I can communicate with foreigners in English. It's because I'm doing this method. I highly recommend you guys to do it. And then if I give you one advice, you better not to use textbook and a vocabulary book when you memorize words. Instead of doing that, you should watch movies and dramas. When I started studying English, I bought a phrase book and I literally tried to remember all the phrases in a book for the first month, but it didn't work well because when I talked to people, I was terrified to say these phrases that I remembered because I was not sure if this is the right situation to use the phrase or not. Even though I studied a lot at the time, but I was not confident enough to speak them in front of people. And I know exactly why. It's because I was just memorizing the words itself. I didn't know how it's used in a conversation. For example, 何言ってるのっていうフレーズ. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This phrase can be negative and positive. If I memorize this phrase from textbook, I don't really know if it's negative or positive. That makes me confused and less confident when I talk to people in English. Okay, Eddie, how do I learn these phrases? Well, to me, again, watching videos and movies in English. Trust me, that helps you a lot because you learn these phrases from scene, cast face expression, gesture, behavior, the tone of voice. You can get a lot of information from one scene. That's the good point of watching movie and dramas. And when I changed the way I study, my English improved dramatically. Finally, use the filler words. People who are not used to talking in English tend to freak out and forget what to say during the conversation. And you end up make silence and make the conversation awkward. But I get that, bro. Same as me. But in my case, when I got into a situation that I don't know what to say, I would use feeder words. There's a very interesting story. I have an Australian friend, and when we were talking, she was kind of yapping, and I asked her, "You keep chatting and chatting and chatting. Like, aren't you tired? Or like, do you feel weird when there's a silence in the conversation?" And she said, "Western people don't like silence. We just keep talking." And I was like, "Oh, okay." That was interesting because I think Japanese people, when you talk with friends, you're fine with the silence. Maybe you're comfortable with the silence sometimes. But even if they're friends, like friends in Australia, they keep talking because they don't like silence. But that's her opinion. Not for everyone, I guess. So culturally, Japan and the Western countries are different. So from that, when you speak English, you try not to make silence in a conversation. But it's almost impossible to do that because you're freaking out. Here's what I do. I use feeder words. Most common feeder words are these 3 feeder words are very common and they're very useful. Actually, even native English speakers use feeder words a lot. They incorporate them into a conversation. There's also an argument that people who use feeder words a lot make people think that you are dumb. Actually, if you are intermediate level and you're like just started speaking English, it's fine. It's totally fine. Again, even native English speakers say feeder words a lot from my experience. So that's fine. If you reach a certain level where you are comfortable enough to speak English, you just try not to use them. All right, that's all for today. I just want to say one thing to you guys. If you've been struggling with studying English, I made an English guide. So that's, you can know exactly how you study English from zero start to the level where you can communicate with the people. So it means like you're gonna know exactly the single step to get there. I can confidently say it helped a lot of people. Out of my official line, you can get it for free. All right. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe and thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video.